That's Joseph. And tonight we're talking about Stuber, directed by Michael Dowse. A new film. I think it's opening tomorrow, July 3rd.
Just in time for the holiday.
Starring Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani.
And Dave, I know from Guardians of the Galaxy. He plays the big
Drax,
the big rock man, or he's just blue?
Yeah, except in those movies. Do you remember the Commish? An old TV series.
Oh, he looks like...
he looks like that man that played the Commish, who's in the Fantastic Four movies. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, and then Kumail plays...
an Uber driver.
His name is Stu, who's an Uber driver, hence the title Stuber.
Which I hate the title, and on the way to it, I thought it was going to be Stupid Uber.
That could apply. That could apply. So it's about Stu is just driving along in his Uber and picks up Vic, Dave Bautista, and Dave Bautista plays an LAPD officer who's trying to capture...
Well, he's just... Okay, so it starts out with Karen Gillan and Dave Bautista are LAPD officers, and a bus that goes wrong in somewhere downtown LA, in a nice hotel. Karen Gillan gets killed, and it's notable, the casting's notable because they're both in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And then he gets... Fast forward 6 months later, and he has decided to get LASIK because he can't have... Part of the reason why that happened that night was because he can't see very well. He wears glasses. So he's going to have LASIK eye surgery. His daughter who's a burgeoning sculptress, has an exhibition in Abercrombie. This is a very Los Angeles movie. All the street names and locations, and which is funny, I looked up, it was filmed in Georgia mostly. But anyway, he's having LASIK. His daughter's having an exhibition he has to go to that day, and then he gets a tip that the person responsible for killing his partner is going to be in Koreatown.
So we understand he's obsessed with avenging his dead partner's death by capturing this, like, drug lord.
Who's played by, it's the guy from the Raid movies, and he's a martial arts artist. So he, like you said, Dave Bautista's character gets a tip that there's going to be a big drop the same night as his daughter's art exhibition, but of course he chooses to avenge his dead partner's death by trying to capture this man. On the day he had laser eye surgery, so he can't see. So lucky for his Uber driver, he takes him on a wild ride. All over LA. I don't know what day this was. I don't know what time loop they're in. That they're able to drive from, like, what looks like he's in Eagle Rock. He's in Eagle Rock, Koreatown, Long Beach.
He's picked up from Eagle Rock, then taken to Koreatown, then taken to Compton.
Then Long Beach.
Then back to Sepulveda and Crenshaw, which is like...
and the locations, there's somehow in Compton, there's a gay strip club, which actually was a very funny scene, but it does not exist.
They visit a gay strip club in Compton. They also visit a sriracha factory in Inglewood, which may or may not exist. I don't look it up.
I looked up the writer. It's a German writer.
Hey, listen, I thought this movie was funny.
It was funny.
The movie's funny. There's a lot of good comedic writing. Probably my least favorite part of the film is Dave Bautista's character, Vic. I think Dave Bautista is fun to look at in the way that, like, The Rock or Arnold Schwarzenegger, like this big, like, bear of a human who's super rough around the edges. He's somewhat charming, but the character itself is hard to like completely because he's He's ignorant, he's resistant. It's unbelievable that like this is like law enforcement. Like this is the person who'd be responsible for like investigating a crime, and he can't even figure out how to do basic things.
Well, but the lesson that we're supposed to take away is all about toxic masculinity and letting your emotions show. And
sure. Yeah. But I think Dave Bautista does a good job of making the most of it.
Yeah. But is it the premise?
The highlight is Kumail.
Yes. Well, doing his deadpan.
Yes, as an actor, like the way his delivery, it was perfect for that character, how the character was written. Maybe he had a hand in it, but I thought he was excellent.
Yeah, he was really good.
The comedy writing is really good. We see Mira Sorvino.
Oh yes, Mira Sorvino. It doesn't have much to do.
Doesn't have anything to do.
But yes, Oscar winner Mira Sorvino is the police captain.
She plays the corrupt police captain.
Yeah, well, spoiler.
So yeah, there will always be spoilers. Spoiler, she's...
I thought she looked good.
Yeah, no, her face looks good. Like she's well preserved.
The hair.
That hair was awful. And combined with Dave Bautista's character's hair.
Yeah, his hair.
Which literally looked like... I don't even want to say. It looks like pubic hair glued onto his head. It's really bad. On top with like that Toppets fiber, like the Juan peel, mixed with like black spray paint.
Yeah.
He looks kind of ridiculous. And then because he's supposed to have vision issues for the entire film, he's squinting. So he looks like Jocelyn Wildenstein, like the Catwoman. He just looks insane. Or like he has like an allergy. Like he's had an allergic reaction. So I don't know that was...
It's for how silly and nonsensical the premise is, it's fun.
Yes, I think the comedy outweighs the sort of nonsensical aspect of the plot for many plot points, including the fact... So first of all, I can't believe Uber even allowed the use of their service as like... Because it's played out so... It's not a favorable light Uber's placed in.
Well, it has to be Uber because you can't have you can't play on Lyft in the same way.
You could have Stiffed.
Slipped.
I like Slipped better than Stuber. But the entire premise is that he's able to tell him, like, go here, go there, but that's not how Uber works.
No.
As far as I know, I prefer to use Lyft, so I'm not wholly sure on how Uber works, but you don't get to choose your destination after you get in the car.
No, but it was kind of sketchy how apps are supposed to work, I think, although there's some punchlines having to do with Uber Pool.
Yeah, but then at the very end, he gets a charge for like $5,400.
Yeah,
so obviously Uber was keeping track of where they were going.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe
because it's a plot point, because his daughter can follow them based on...
Right.
Sure.
Again, for how silly most of the plot is, the comedy far outweighs.
It's very violent.
It's super violent. I mean, I don't usually shriek in a film, and I shrieked several times. Because I didn't look to see if it's rated R or PG-13.
I think it's rated R.
It's definitely rated R, but I assumed it was PG-13, so I was very surprised to see the amount of violence.
Well, because you see penis.
You see big black penis.
Yeah.
Pinot noir. You see like heads exploding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's very violent. But yeah, Kumail is...
So it was directed by Michael Dowse, who's Canadian, who in the early 2000s was known for a film called Fubar, and he did a sequel, and then he's kind of in Goon with Sean William Scott, which you have seen and you don't remember, but I remember being entertained by it, although I don't remember any plot points other than hockey. And then I think his American studio film was Take Me Home Tonight, with Anna Faris and Topher Grace, which you saw, I didn't see. And then he did his last film I quite like. It was called What If. Originally it was supposed to be called The F Word, but they wanted a PG-13 rating, so maybe this is his revenge. But What If starred Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver, and it was kind of a slight rom-com, but very good. And Dowse, I have to say, I was very happy with the soundtrack selection.
In Stuber?
In Stuber, yeah.
What songs are you referring to?
Well, I liked a little bit with the Hollies playing the Air That I Breathe while there's the shoot up at the vet hospital. And then there's just a sliver of an Arcade Fire song I liked, You Were in the Bathroom. And then just stuff drifting in and out that kind of is as a canvas of a musical tapestry.
I didn't recognize any of those songs. Yeah.
Obviously, Take Me Home Tonight. That's it. Obviously, I think he likes music.
Take Me Home?
The Anna Faris movie that I described.
Oh, I don't remember. So, yeah. Oh, okay.
I feel like you're going to be saying I don't remember anything about this movie.
Yeah, but this movie's funny, so I think I will remember this movie as being something I enjoyed. I would actually rewatch this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean... the other thing is...
If I had paid to see this film, I wouldn't be upset.
I wouldn't either, and, it's a very formulaic... The odd couple, the straight man and the funny guy, and everything's very familiar, ripping on...
Well, the subplot of him... So, Kumail's character drives Uber because he works at a sporting goods store and doesn't make enough money to subsidize his he wants to open up a cycling, he wants to open up a spinning class business or something.
Because he is
with the woman who he's in love with.
Played by Betty Gilpin,
okay.
Basic blonde girl.
So we see him struggle with that. He's in love with her, but she doesn't see him for that. And in the end, he builds up the courage to tell her that he doesn't really want to interact with her anymore because he's in love with her. So he's advocating for himself. There's also this subplot of or not subplot, but there's an underlying theme about being a man. I
think that they Kumail's character tried to spin that of all this coming of age being a man business is more about self-advocacy.
So Vic, Dave Bautista's character, relays a story of his dad abandoning him in a desert and how he became a man that night from being abandoned by his father. So, the implication is that Kumail's not a man because he's very sensitive and wants to talk about things and doesn't like violence, which is the opposite of Vic's character. So in the end, Stu mans up and Vic becomes more sensitive.
And then that's tied into his Kumail's relationship with his boss, who's the son of the store owner.
The sporting goods store he works in, the manager, who's the owner's son, who is abusive to Kumail
because he thinks that's how men are supposed to interact.
So I mean, there are some good examples of the toxic masculinity you referred to.
And that man looked like a young Lee Marvin.
Right? I'm not sure who that is. He was good looking.
He looked like Lee Marvin.
Okay. Yeah, I like this movie for a rated R dude movie. I thought it had more substance. I know we're in 2019, so I don't expect to see sort of the homophobic tropes that you often find in films like this. But still, I'm glad that I didn't see any of that.
No, in fact, it kind of embraced it, but a little bit.
I mean, there is a moment towards the end when they're in the sporting goods store and he tells him you're a pansy or...
Yes, although a character that behaves that way.
Yeah, so I wasn't bothered by it.
I don't think he'd use that word in real life.
Right. But yeah, well, no, because then he says his daughter told him he curses too much.
Right.
So who knows, but I definitely felt like it was just a heartfelt, funny-ass movie.
Yeah.
With a ridiculous plot line, but yeah, funny. I would definitely watch it again, like I said.
Yeah, I'd watch again the plane and the rain.
On a plane,
train.
in the rain, headed to Spain.
Is there anything else we want to say about this movie?
No.
The cinema?
No.
Okay, what did we rate it?
I would give it 3.5. Out of 5.
I remember the 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.
Great.
Okay.
Bye.